All right, our first item on September 9th GPC is the Advisory Board and Committee Annual Reports. And so far, that is all we have received. However, I do have a quick update. We are expecting redistricting, adopting the state legislative agenda, annexation survey questions, and I believe that is all.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, on to our regular agenda for September 2nd. Get through all that. The first item on consent is a correction from our July 13th minutes. I did want to pull that out separately because that particular item involved a scrivener's error for the millage rate, and we want to make sure we have the accurate official record. And then we have the approval of several other minutes of city commission meetings. We do have one appointment to the Citizens Advisory Board after that.
And then we have the Little Hatchet Creek Stabilization Grant. And then the ranking for the federal lobbyists, no change there. An amendment to the Heartwood Community Covenants and Restrictions. The lease for How Bizarre. And we will also have a lease that's not on here yet for the Catalyst building.
We also have an RFP approval for our new agenda and meeting management system.
And then I'll have one more item on the consent agenda, and that's a grant to Black on Black for the Inspire group, the interveners.
Oh, right. Okay.
And then moving to the regular agenda, we have a discussion on the Zero Waste Strategy Report and Implementation Plan. And then the American Rescue Plan was rescheduled for this meeting to, I think, talk about what our next steps are. I'll defer to Sylvia on that.
Will you please also put the contract for the Director of Equity and Inclusion in the afternoon? I should have that settled by that meeting.
And then we have another item that we haven't added yet, but it'll deal with the Utility Assistance Program. Don't have it all completely worked out, but I promised the commission we'd bring it back on this meeting.
Okay.
And we also, I'll leave it to you all. We also have the recommendations to the advisory boards and committee ordinance that was motioned sometime last year. We should be wrapping up all of our presentations. I'm not sure if you all want to hear that at the city commission meeting or at GPC, but I'm happy to add it to either.
We have room on this afternoon, so let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and put it there since we have the time.
All right, then we have a proclamation for Constitution Week, September 17th through the 23rd.
Mayor, I have an item. I'm not sure if you want it in the afternoon or the night meeting where we talk about how we move forward with the ARP process.
It's on the afternoon.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, and then resolutions, we have a budget amendment, our fourth budget amendment for general government.
And this will be updated to remove Commissioner Hayes Santos's name, but it's just a session of resolution in support. This actually should be resolution in support of local employers mandating the COVID-19 vaccine. So we'll clean that up before the final agenda is published.
Okay, and then there are three items on the agenda regarding 1015 South Main Street. And I've been told that we will get an email or a letter today asking if those items be deferred until the first meeting in October.
Okay. So we can pull those.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, and then I'll jump in. This is just another land use change that can be adopted in a single reading. A rare ordinance that's going to be adopted in a single reading. This is for the Lincoln Ventures project on West University Avenue that includes some affordable housing components. So then, and I might talk to the clerk about maybe straightening up the order that the order of these ordinances so that they're paired together, the land use and the zoning, rather than kind of skipping around like they do, but the substance is all here. But then it goes into, I think, the other South Main ordinance that the manager just mentioned will be postponed, into rezoning for the Oak Hall School. The commission saw this already, but revising the zoning district, so it's coming back for first reading. And then it's another South Main item that'll be postponed. And then back to the rezoning for the Lincoln Ventures project, again on University Avenue. So we might try to pair that with the land use. And then there's some text changes. This one is just mandated by FEMA. So it just is our floodplain sections of the Land Development Code. It's amending those regulations per FEMA's direction to an ordinance that is adding certain property to the Registry of Protected Public Places. An ordinance just renaming certain city parks. And lastly, an ordinance just related to parking, amending miscellaneous sections of the code relating to parking.
Okay, anything else?
Actually, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to add something. I'd like to add the piece for the Alachua County Library vacancy that Commissioner Johnson will be leaving. Is there a way that we can add that to this meeting?
Well, there won't be a vacancy until she's gone. So let's add that to our first meeting in October.
Okay.
Where there'll be an opening at that point. So Madam Clerk, if you'll just make a note of that, if you'll add a commission filling vacancy for the Library Governing Board.
And is it okay if that's the only one? It will check to see if she's on any others.
Yeah, thank you. And I think you can have one item filling vacancies on city commission committees.
Yep, got it.
Perfect. Okay, anything else? Okay, so as I said before, I still haven't got my test results back. So, and we don't, depending on that and what the test results come back from the other four of you, or I guess, well, nobody on this, oh, Adrian's here, but Commissioner Duncan Walker here in you didn't have to isolate because there's advantages to being a distance from the center. But I mean, all of those four folks are going to have to get tested. So depending on the outcome of those tests, we may or may not be able to have this meeting on Thursday, next Thursday. What I've asked the clerk to do is look for some alternative dates on the next Tuesday and Wednesday of that following week, which hopefully we can get a quorum present for that meeting. Regardless of my test status, I will be cleared to come back by then. And so if we can have 4 present in person, even if some other folks have to quarantine it and isolate at home, we'll still be able to have that meeting, and all those folks that have to stay home will be able to participate and vote. So I will let the clerk know that as soon as I have the information, whether we're going to stick with Thursday or move it to the next week. Any questions about that?
Yeah, just point out, Mayor, I think the 7th and the 8th, if those are the dates, is Rosh Hashanah. So you'll be hitting both Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur for meetings.
Oh boy.
So please test negative.
I'm a good test taker, but this one's a little out of my hands. Okay. What?
If you had to pick of the two, I would suggest the 8th, since that's the second day of Rosh Hashanah and not typically observed by a majority.
So does it start at sundown on the 7th?
Sundown on the 6th.
On the 6th. And it technically ends sundown on the 8th?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So that's what we'll shoot for. If it comes to that.
I'm hoping we really don't need it, just because there are a couple of other board conflicts, like joint water policy. I think conflicts that maybe with the 7th date. But then there's a couple of other board meetings that are using those to adopt their budgets. And there are commissioners that sit on those committees. So it may be an awkward time if we can readjust it sometime on the 8th. So I just wanted to let you all know that.
Okay, we'll do the best we can. This is governing in the time of COVID when we're required to meet in person in order to conduct business.
Okay.
It'd be much better if we could still meet virtually.
And Mayor, if we can just go back to GPC for a second. I had approved an item on COVID enforcement, the county's COVID order. I didn't see it on there. So adding that on just to bring you up to speed and get some direction if necessary.
Sure.
That's actually on for tomorrow. Did you want to have it on for the 9th?
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Adrian?
I mean, we could always have our meeting on the 9th and just push back all our GPC meetings 2 weeks as well. That might be.
Yeah, that's the other option. Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
That way it doesn't interfere with anybody. And I don't think we have any rush things on the GPC.
Okay, so let's just, I should know by tomorrow, I think. I mean, they said 1 to 3 days. Tomorrow's day 2, so that's something to consider, absolutely. Mr. Murray?
Just remind Commission that you guys requested that the legislative agenda be on the September 9th GPC meeting. And because of the early legislature starting in January instead of March, we need to get the legislative packet, at least in some form, to be approved and move forward with our commission. So that's what I want to remind.
Okay, yeah, thanks for that reminder, Fred. And so let's just put that on the 9th regardless. So whether that's a GPC meeting or a city commission meeting, we'll include that item, Madam Clerk.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for the reminder. Okay, anything else? All right, I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Please stay healthy and safe.
Yeah, you too.
You too.
Bye, we're adjourned.